Hello and welcome to Veloce Motoren. If you like cars, racing and aircraft, you should consider leaving a like, sharing and subscribing. Today we'll have a start with the Airbus series of aircraft. The topic for today's video will be the Airbus A300. This plane is a quite usual aircraft by modern standards. It's medium haul, wide body, twin engine airliner. Yes, there are many planes with this specification in 2019, but the A300 can be called without a joke the father of all those airliners we see in the sky today. Okay, let's start. I have to say that I've explored the formation of the Airbus industry as much as I could. Now let's go back to the 1960s. The European and American airlines needed a new plane which could accommodate 250 passengers. So the usual needs: give us an excellent plane for free. So in 1967, the governments of France, Germany and England signed an agreement to start a joint development project. Moreover, the new A300 had to become a 300-seat aircraft with two engines. Indeed, but after some political words, the engineers started to work, and creating such a plane would be very hard and very expensive. Some smart guys proposed to create a smaller version accommodating 250 seats, so A250, but the haters got noisy and Airbus promised a cool A300. As an answer, the 250 version seat was launched, but the name remained to be the A300. Life basically got easier because the 250 seat version was 25 tons lighter and it was not necessary to create new engines. So the upgraded Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney and General Electric engines would be enough. Other opportunity to make a wider fuselage and accommodate LD3 freight containers. Of course, it's not interesting for the passengers, but Airbus made a lot of money selling the cargo version of this plane. The first prototype began in 1969 and lasted 3 years. There were a lot of constant delays with the problems with the components and compatibility, as well as engines. The engines. By the way, Airbus said that the A300s could be equipped with already existing engines, and that fact saved the entire program. Initially, Rolls-Royce planned to develop totally brand new engines, but the company got into, let's just say, an adventure and couldn't make it. The constant delays and problems nearly stopped production, but the universality of the aircraft made it easy to swap from British engines to American engines without big costs. Finally, in 1972, the plane made its first flight, including 4 aircraft, and that addition managed to participate in the several demonstration tours in North and South America to show the locals how they were making planes in the old world. In 1974, the plane received its certification in Africa, Asia, Australia, the Middle East, South America, and North America. After 8 years, waiting customers finally received their first Airbus aircrafts. But by the time the decade ends, 14 airlines operated the A300 and 100 planes were made. And at least Airbus had 26% of the market share because of the A300. So let's look at the features of this aircraft. It has a lot of them. The A300 is quite a normal configuration for our time. It's twin engine and wide body aircraft. The 2 engines were mounted under the wings. Wait, aren't the engines going to suck in all the garbage from the airstrip and explode? No, they aren't. Because the engineers designed the engine airframe so they won't be damaged from debris from the airstrip. Well, if you're not going to be taking off from the junkyard, that is, the A300 had some innovations. It was the first wide-body twin-engine airliner. It was the first civilian aircraft which used composites and not from a good life, that is. When you only have 2 engines, every kilogram counts of the plane's mass is critical. The components have allowed improving aerodynamic elements and introducing automatic systems of the computers on board. So because of this, the cockpit only consists of 2 pilots. You can say every plane is like this now, dude. But 40 years ago, this was extraordinary for the plane of this size, because even the smallest planes were having pilots up to 3 or 4. So the computers replaced the 3rd and the 4th pilot. So basically the poor flight engineer and the navigator were thrown out on the street, apparently. And of course, the several modifications and updates were made to this aircraft. So they are A300B. This is the basic and shortest model. Perhaps that's why they didn't find any demand. So only 2 planes were made. A300BT. Already normal in length, at least for France. The option was ordered by Air France Group. This version was equipped by the Pratt & Whitney JD9D engines, the same as the Boeing 747's A300B4, could carry more fuel, had an improved wing 284 were made of this version. A300 600 received an upgraded tail, became a more spacious than its predecessors. A300 B10, which basically became the A310 after a long story which I'll be telling you in the next video. Overall, the A300 had one small tiny problem, which is just its range, which was only 7,500 kilometers, and that is painfully small for a small wide-body airliner. A300 600 ST, better known as the Beluga. No, I don't mean this Beluga, because this aircraft looks very different from the others. But it's not an independent model because it's very similar to the Boeing Dreamlifter. It's basically to transport other Airbus aircraft. As a final point for this video, there were 561 A300s produced until its production stopped in 2007. That's all for this video, people. Hope you found this interesting and informative. If there's anything we should improve on, let us know in the comments. Bye!